Damn! That going YouTube, it's the Lazy Stone here, and welcome back to another reaction. Welcome to Swoop Clan. I'm the Lazy Stone, your host. So we're going to be reacting to the 5 most disturbing Craigslist ad from Chilling Scares. Be sure to subscribe and make sure you leave a like. Turn the notification bell on. And without further ado, let's get to it.
Posting was uploaded to Craigslist asking for someone to watch over a patch of farmland and feed a few cows somewhere in southern Ohio in exchange for $300 a week. It ended up being one of the most notorious cases of ad-related crimes of the
Oh yeah, and the original video link is going to be in the description, so look out for that too.
decade. The ad read, "Caretaker position for farm, southern Ohio. Simply watch over a 688-acre patch of hilly farmland and feed a few cows. You get $300 a week and a nice 2-bedroom trailer. Someone older and single preferred, but we'll consider all. Relocation a must. You must have a clean record and be trustworthy. This is a permanent position. The farm is used mainly as a hunting preserve, is overrun with game, has a stocked 3-acre pond, but some beef cattle will be kept. Nearest neighbor is a mile away. The place is secluded and beautiful. It will be a real getaway for the right person. Job of a lifetime. If you are ready to relocate, please contact ASAP. Position will not stay open. Include name, age, phone number, and email, please."
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, you're going to be surrounded by nothingness the entire time. You're going to be in bumfuck nowhere. Not saying that, it's a bad idea for somebody to do it, but it's like, maybe it's a good idea to just have a few people with you. So, I don't know. I feel like he should hire more than just one employee to take care of all that crazy shit for $300 a week. If you calculate that, that's like, I don't know. 300 doesn't sound livable in my defense. Yeah.
Some of the men who responded to the ad were interviewed directly by a man who identified himself as Jack, along with his 16-year-old accomplice, Brogan Rafferty, whom he referred to as his nephew. The candidates who made it to the interview stage said they didn't notice anything strange about Jack or his so-called nephew, and that they just looked like a couple of farmers who needed someone to look after their land. Scott Davis, a 48-year-old man who was interviewed by Jack over breakfast at a little restaurant in Marietta, Ohio, was the second to last candidate to go through the screening process for the job. After breakfast, he rode with Jack and Brogan to a remote wooded area near Akron. Immediately after getting out of the car to survey his surroundings, Davis heard a clicking sound. He turned around to see Jack pointing a gun at him. It was then that he realized—
See, I knew something was wrong. There's nobody available. Nobody's around you. You're out in the fucking middle of nowhere. You're in Akron, Ohio. By the way, that's where, what's his name? Chance Wilkins, basically Cyrax, the nasty goblin of Akron, Ohio. That's where, I'm guessing this is the rural area of Akron, Ohio. Yeah, that's where he lives. But god damn, that went through 0 to 100 real quick. Pull out the gun behind his head already.
Realized that the click he heard had been the gun misfiring, but before he could react, Jack shot him in the elbow. Despite the wound, Davis managed to escape. He ran for his life for 7 hours through the woods, eventually finding a house and asking the owner for help. They called 911, and news about the incident—
Bro, he had to run for 7 hours. I bet he was dehydrated like a motherfucker.
—began to spread. 5 days later, police received a call from a woman named Deborah Bruce, who claimed that her 51-year-old twin brother David Pauly had responded to the same job ad on Craigslist. According to Deborah, her brother had driven from Virginia to Ohio with all his belongings in his car, in the hopes that the new job would work out for him and help him get back on his feet. Tragically, a couple days later, police found the body of David Pauly, along with the body of another victim by the name of Ralph Geiger.
So this motherfucker was on a killing spree, and it was only until he got caught where he would face the crimes for his disgusting human nature. That's crazy. His own fucking bro. He's like a serial killer.
Buried in the woods close to where Scott Davis had been shot in the elbow. At this point in the case, investigators were able to identify a pattern in the victims. Jack and Brogan targeted homeless, down on their luck, or otherwise vulnerable middle-aged—
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking. You gotta be down on your luck. You must be a loner. You must not have anything going for yourself. And, like, for you to not— I'd rather work at McDonald's, because then I would at least be around a bunch of fucking witnesses. At least. Why would I take a job where I'm going to be in a bunch of fucking farmland and then I'm going to be caught by this crazy delusional motherfucker just to play target practice on my ass with bullets? Bullets, nigga. And he said that there's cattle out there that gets hunted down for beef. So why the fuck is he doing it to humans? Does he get off on that shit? God damn.
Men with limited family ties and lured them to an isolated location under the appearance of a life-changing job opportunity, only to later rob them of all their belongings and shoot them on the spot. Their hope was that because of their few family ties, their disappearance would go unnoticed, giving Jack and Brogan enough time to bury the bodies and get rid of the evidence.
That's on some
this pattern
Dexter
explains
shit.
why certain candidates were rejected during the interview.
That's on some Dexter type shit. Like, he calculated this shit. Oh yeah, if they're loners, they're down on their luck, they're looking for a job that plays under the table, and they won't be missed. Yeah, why not? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That is crazy.
Process, such as 58-year-old Ron Sanson, a former Navy officer with a college degree, and an unnamed woman in her 20s who had also applied for the job. During the investigation, police traced the Craigslist ad, which led them to the home of a man named Joe Bice in Akron, Ohio. He denied posting the ad and claimed that it was probably posted by the man who rented out his basement space. When police asked Joe Bice for the name of his tenant, he responded that he only knew him as Dutch. Investigators were able to track Dutch down thanks to a phone call that he made to Joe Bice, unaware that his landlord had been in contact with the police. On November 16, 2011, police arrested Dutch and identified him as 52-year-old Richard Beasley. Scott Davis immediately confirmed that this was the same man who had interviewed him at the restaurant and shot him in the woods. Apparently, Richard Beasley had fled from the police and used different identities to avoid being detected, even using the names of some of his victims.
Bro is on that you shit. He's on that Dexter shit. He's on that mafia type shit, because mafia men, bro, they could disappear your body without even a flinch, bro. Like, without even, like, you know what I mean? Within a blink of an eye. They could make you disappear into thousands of, your bodies will be cut into thousands of pieces, scattered across the fucking United States, and I dare you, they'll never figure out who the fuck did it. This motherfucker is crazy. So let's add in the Sopranos, Dexter, and motherfucking the nigga from You, even though he looks nothing like him. He's just crazy. Because the guy from You, technically he's supposed to be a Ted Bundy. He's like Ted Bundy. He's like, you know, like a guy who gets the women, ends up killing his girlfriend, wife, or whatever. If you ever watched the Netflix season You, just go watch the series You. Go watch it. You'll know what I mean. But this guy, he's disappearing these niggas, and he's fooling the cops. These cops suck ass at their fucking job, bro.
Around that time, police also arrested Brogan Rafferty, Richard Beasley's teenage accomplice. At the time, Brogan was a 16-year-old high school student from Stowe, Ohio, whom Beasley had mentored and taken under his wing. Police searched Rafferty's house and found several weapons, as well as a disturbing poem hidden in his computer files from August 16, 2011. The chilling poem read, "We took him out to the woods on a humid summer's night. The loud crack echoed."
Motherfucker wrote a poem about how he was about to commit murder. I wouldn't give him parole. The teenage kid just made a poem about how he was gonna kill a motherfucker with an adult ass nigga who's running away from the cops. Even though these niggas that he be killing, they don't, you know what I mean? The families don't worry about them at all. Like they're far away from them, but they would still be worried about them. It's crazy.
And I didn't hear the thud. Investigators later determined that the poem described the murder of Ralph Geiger, one of the victims police had found in the woods. A few days later, on November 25th, a fourth victim, a 47-year-old man named Timothy Kern, was found dead in the woods behind a mall in Akron. In 2013, Brogan Rafferty was sentenced to life without parole. Was found dead in the woods behind a mall in Akron.
Behind a mall? A mall, nigga? You know how crazy that sounds? He got buried behind a fucking mall. That is so fucking creepy.
In 2013, Brogan Rafferty was sentenced to life without parole, and Richard Beasley was sentenced to execution after being found guilty of 27 total accounts of aggravated...
Yeah, now you're crying, right? You're putting your head down, you're giving your little fucking poses about, oh shit, man, I fucked up, man, oh my god, why did I do it? I don't know why. What was possessing me? Oh no, you don't feel bad, you feel bad because you got fucking caught. You feel bad because your redneck having ass fucking got caught, bro. That's the only time you feel bad. Miss me with that bullshit, bro. You crying, but nobody's fucking selling. No one's buying what you selling, bro. Just go to prison.
Murder, aggravated robbery, kidnapping,
start your shit,
possession
bro.
of illegal weapons. This innocent-looking job ad ended up being one of the most notorious luring posts in the site's history, and it played a strong contributor.
And look at that. This motherfucker's been doing it for so long. 2010. I'm not saying that he did it up until today's date, but figure out the fact that this nigga did this for so long, he ended up burying 4 fucking bodies.
Role to the sketchy connotation that Craigslist carries nowadays.
There's no telling what the fuck you would have done.
A disturbing ad was posted in the personal section of Craigslist. The personal section was a place where people could post personal ads for a variety of reasons. It was an interesting mix between an online dating platform, a space where people could rant and share their opinions on personal experiences, and a place for people to find friends with similar interests. Although most people use the personal section for legitimate reasons, it was also notorious for scams and other illegal activities, which is why Craigslist completely removed the section in 2018. This particular ad was posted by a person claiming to be a serial killer. Disturbingly, the post mentioned 2 public officials by name, and the person who uploaded the ad said that they would strike again. The ad read, "Tulsa murder. I was wanting to thank Tulsa for letting me have my first kill. It all started here, so I was thinking it should also be my first. I was nervous as hell, but I will get over it. It was a stranger on stranger, so the police will have a difficult time. It will not be my last though. Thinking about going to OKC for next. To the people who started it all, Julie Free, Judge Glasgow." On the day that it was posted, the ad was immediately reported to the police, and an investigation was launched by the Tulsa Police Department. Specifically, the ad thanked a woman named Julie Free, an employee of the Department of Corrections, and Judge Glasgow, who worked in the probate division of the Tulsa.
Money issue about that. Let's get back into it.
The post thanked them and referred to them as the people who started it all. Because Julie Free and Judge Glasgow worked in overlapping departments and would sometimes interact with the same offenders, police believe that the ad had to have been posted by someone who had at some point been involved in the criminal justice system, and that might have been an act of revenge to stain their image. Craigslist provided the Tulsa Police Department all the information available about the post, but it didn't really lead anywhere. According to the police, there had been no recent crimes that matched the description provided in the ad. The police department said that the ad was probably a hoax, but they never found any evidence to prove it, which means it's still possible the post could have been legit. The homicide unit claimed that they had seen a similar situation before when a 918 number texted random people disturbing questions about where to bury a body. The thing about the ad that alarmed the police was that it specifically named 2 public officials, but to this day it hasn't been confirmed whether this was just some sort of revenge hoax, or if something much more sinister was going on.
Who knows?
In August of 2014, an 18-year-old girl named Haley Turner posted a Craigslist notice stating that she was, quote, looking to be abducted and taken away. Although the post immediately gained a lot of online attention, as far as I was able to find, images of the actual ad itself are no longer available. On August 7th, Haley left her house in Michigan and told her mother that she was going to run an errand. A few minutes later, she called a friend on the phone. During the conversation, she mentioned to her friend that she had noticed a man lying in the ditch in the middle of the road, and that she was going to get out of her car to see if he was okay. A few seconds later, Haley uttered the words, "He has a gun," and the phone was suddenly disconnected. Terrified, the friend immediately called Haley's father, who drove to the area just north of Ohio in Bedford Township and found his daughter's car running in the road, but Haley was nowhere to be found. Haley was immediately reported as a missing person, and an investigation was launched to find her. Strangely, police found that at 10:06 p.m. on August 7th, Haley had rented the DVDs for 2 movies from a family video store a few miles from Toledo, Ohio. The phone call with her friend had taken place a few minutes after that. 16 hours after her disappearance, a local resident found Haley standing at a random corner holding a puppy in Ecorse near Detroit. Although she was completely unscathed, she claimed that she had been abducted at gunpoint the night before and that she had jumped from a moving vehicle to escape her captor. The whole story didn't really seem to add up, and police had a hard time believing her. The video footage from the DVD store where she was last seen didn't show anything suspicious, and there were no signs on her body suggesting that she had been attacked. After hours of questioning, Haley Turner eventually confessed and pleaded guilty to causing a false police report to be filed. She was sentenced to 3 years probation.
I bet you she did it all for her fucking attention. You know how many victims don't come back from getting kidnapped? What did you gain from this? So you tell me you staged your own kidnapping? You staged your own kidnapping? You know how many people ended up being victims and don't come back from... I think my cat's outside the door. Hold on one second. Every day when I'm recording, this stupid cat does not like... Okay, well, we'll just continue with this.
And 1 month of community service, and was fined $15,000 to reimburse the sheriff's office for the 16-hour search. Although her motives for faking her own abduction were never revealed, her mother mentioned that it had been an emotionally difficult year for her daughter, and that although she didn't justify her behavior, she interpreted the fake abduction as a cry for help. Some of Haley's other strange Craigslist posts indicated that she had a tendency to seek attention online, but these posts have since been deleted and are no longer publicly available.
Just what I said.
Police revealed that one man did actually respond to the ad, but Haley decided to fake her disappearance by herself instead of communicating with him. The fact that someone responded to this ad and was willing to carry out the abduction of an 18-year-old girl for money is pretty concerning. And what makes this even creepier is that the man who responded to Haley's ad asking to be abducted was never found by police.
That's kind of creepy.
This creepy post was uploaded to Craigslist on July 21st, 2009 by a man claiming to be a Baltimore area homeowner. The ad pretty much speaks for itself, and it reads, "By now you've probably heard of the Glenn Burney family that stored their 83-year-old grandmother's dead body in a freezer. It turns out that no law was broken. Yep, dumping a body is legal around here. Healthcare workers and other professionals are required to report deaths, but..."
Dumping a body is legal around Baltimore? Like, so what? This is The Wire right now? We're doing the Snoop and Chris type shit where they hide the bodies in the fucking alley or something. Like, they'd be hiding them bodies in the fucking empty houses. So did that actually fucking happen? They left, okay, all right, they left dead bodies in empty areas, like where nobody be looking around, or maybe where nobody could find out. Okay.
Ordinary citizens are not, and apparently no state law prohibits the burial or storage of a body on private property. I'm a laid-off Baltimore area homeowner. After 10 months of unemployment and the future looking even more grim, I'm willing to consider allowing my backyard to be used for body dumping. Call it a private burial if you prefer. I could probably take a half-dozen bodies without arousing the attention of neighbors. It wouldn't hurt to have one under the garden too. Me, a discreet Baltimore County homeowner with a half-acre of easily tillable property on a quiet dead-end street. You, an individual, not a healthcare worker or other professional required to report a death, with the awkward inconvenience of disposing of a deceased relative, friend, colleague, or acquaintance. You must provide your own trash bags, tarp, quicklime, shovel, etc. I might be available to hold a flashlight, but I won't do any heavy lifting. Accidental deaths or natural causes only. I'm not getting involved in any shenanigans with Omar wannabes. I will not be a participant in or any accessory...
See, that's what I was talking about. He's mentioning Omar from The Wire. If you haven't watched The Wire, it's on HBO. Go check it out. It's an awesome-ass series. Yeah, no, you got the wrong motherfuckers. Like, I'm not going to get involved with any shenanigans. Motherfucker, the shenanigans, you're attracting to them. You're like blood in water in the ocean, right? And then the sharks fucking sniff you out fast as fuck, and now they're gonna come after you. That's the shenanigans you're trying to evade, but little do you know that that's this type of shenanigans that niggas like to get into. And now you're bringing the shenanigans to you. That is not how that works. You are going to be dealing with sketchy ass people holding guns, knives, anything. Probably with more goons than you in your own fucking property. So let me get this straight. So let's say this, right? And I'm just going to give a good, scenario. You own your property. You claim to be able to hold up to dozens of bodies in your backyard, I'm assuming. So you do that. You get the motherfuckers in your house. The motherfuckers, there's 3 men, right? Sketchy as fuck. Bloody as hell right now. They have a dead body. You said you're not going to carry it. Well, what happens if they carry an M9? And there's 3 of them. One of them is carrying an M9. One of them is probably carrying a shovel. One of them is carrying a knife, a switchblade, and they're in your house. You know what? You could just do the math. There's 3 guys trying to bury a body in your backyard, and you're telling them that you won't be able to do anything else but maybe help out with a few things. Well, what happens if they want you to do... What happens if they want you to do something and you don't want to fucking do it? And let's say they're not that fucking morally sane. So let's think. Let's put a scenario here. So let's think of maybe they'll bury the body, but now they think that you're gonna run to the cops and tell on them, so they're gonna kill you, so that way they don't get fucking caught. Now you're the dead motherfuckers. Now you're the ones that's gonna be in your own house, buried in your own house and there's nothing we could do for you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that all these things that could have happened already, the bad stuff, that could kill you, bury you with the other motherfuckers that you're trying to help them bury. You're going to be in there with them and they're going to flee off because this would be the perfect crime. You were an accessory to a fucking crime, bro. You're affiliated. And it doesn't matter if the state law or city law, what the fuck, doesn't matter. A crime is still a fucking crime. All right, let's just continue.
To any sort of crime. This is a limited time offer. Act now before the state legislature changes the law. If and when the law changes, measures failed 10 years ago after the 1999 incident, you'll be grandfathered, literally and figuratively. Price is negotiable. Serious inquiries only. The post itself is off-putting enough, but the context behind the ad is even more disturbing. The links in the ad are both broken, but using the Wayback Machine, I was able to find a 2009 version of the website Welcome to Baltimore Hun, which appears to be a sort of online guide for users to upload news and posts about their experience living in Baltimore. The link in the Craigslist ad leads to a blog post written by a man named Noam Sane. The article goes deeper into the reasons why he uploaded the ad to Craigslist and what he hoped to accomplish with his underground private burial business. In the comments, more than a few users asked the man if they could use his backyard for a burial. The fact that the uploader of the ad explicitly mentioned that he wouldn't get involved in any criminal activity by burying anyone who hadn't died of natural causes has created a lot of online speculation. Using his backyard as a body dumping location would have been perfectly legal, and the only reason the ad stayed up for so long was because the man wasn't advertising an illegal service, such as burying people who had been murdered. This has made some people think that the only reason why he mentioned that he wouldn't get involved with any crimes in the first place was so that he could keep his ad up on the site, all while responding to emails and getting involved in much more shady body dumping business behind the scenes. But it was never confirmed whether this was actually the case. Despite the disturbing nature of the ad, the claims Noam Sane made in the Craigslist ad are true. In 2009, it was legal for ordinary citizens to abstain from reporting a death and dump a body in Maryland, and the incident that he makes reference to in the ad really did happen. In 2009, police were called to an apartment in Glen Burnie, Maryland, because the body of 83-year-old Doris Lee Cook was in the freezer. Police were told that the grandmother had died several weeks ago in the apartment she shared with her family, and because they had no money for a proper burial, they stored her body in the freezer for 2 weeks. The other incident that the ad mentions happened in 1999 and involved a 25-year-old father named Richard Marshall, who buried his 4-year-old daughter in a garbage bag in the woods in Severn, Maryland. The little girl had passed away in an accident 8 months earlier, and because no law was broken, Richard Marshall was only charged for littering. Since then, several measures...
Those are some wild-ass cases. You buried somebody because you don't have the money to bury them at a cemetery. I can't speak for that. I mean, I can't say anything about that. I don't know what type of money issues that's been going on around the family like that, so I don't know. But the fucking daughter that fucking died at the car accident, how the fuck did he still had, like, possession with the body? Like, did the coroners just give a fuck? Like, they just gave him a dead body, like, and he buried out in the fucking woods?
Have been proposed to make body dumping illegal in Maryland. In 2007, a 49-year-old woman from Michigan named Anne Marie Linscott posted a generic freelance job ad on Craigslist. Although the ad has been deleted and no evidence was made publicly available due to the sensitive nature of the incident,
this chick looked like this woman here looks like a fucking lunch lady. That's all I gotta say.
The 3 people who responded to the ad claimed that it looked like a job posting for a freelance writing gig. Disturbingly, as soon as the 3 people responded to the ad, they were emailed directly by Anne Marie Linscott, who explained that she was actually looking for a, quote, silent assassin for an eradication task. She told the candidates that she was offering $5,000 to anyone who would eliminate a 56-year-old California woman named Carol, the wife of a man named Dwayne, who Linscott was having an affair with. According to police reports, Anne Marie and Dwayne had met in an online college course in 2005. That same year, they met in person and began their affair when Dwayne traveled to Nevada for a conference. 2 years later, Anne Marie visited Dwayne in California, after which she started making plans to move to the West Coast. That's when she posted the murder for hire ad on Craigslist. After the candidates all reported the ad to the police, investigators tracked down Anne Marie Linscott and arrested her for using the internet to solicit murder. Police later found that she had also planted an explosive outside of Carol's bedroom in California, but because it didn't go off, she wasn't charged for it. After the incident, Carol left her family and career for 3 months and had to be hospitalized for stress. According to Linscott's friends and family, this wasn't the first time that Anne Marie became obsessed with a romantic interest. In 1997, she fell in love with a coworker who had to get a restraining order after she began stalking him. Anne Marie's lawyer explained that she suffered from borderline personality disorder and severe attachment issues, but that didn't stop the court from sentencing her to 12.5 years in prison in 2009. After serving her 12.5-year sentence, Anne-Marie Linscott was only recently released from prison.
Yeah, hopefully she won't do that shit ever again. That sounds like she was asking to be in prison for life for her mental disorder. There's professionals who could, give her the treatment and take care of her for that shit. I mean, that was kind of creepy. But anyways, as I said before, yeah, the dumping bodies around Baltimore. It's just, wow. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to go to Chilling Scares. Go ahead and subscribe to them. They make a lot of great videos out there. Shouts out to them and all they, all they do. Anyways, I'll just see you guys next time. See ya. Also, the original link to the video will be in the description.